Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the May 4th, 2023 meeting of the Committee on Finance and Administrative Services, which is now called to order. The Chief Advisor, please call the roll.
Chair Massey? Vice Chair Swanson?
Here.
Student Trustee Uda Goldblum? Trustee Davis? Trustee Kent? Thank you.
Just in time. All right, well done. So thank you, and we indeed have a quorum. First, I'd just like to thank President Collinsworth and Olive Harvey for this incredible background too, but this incredible venue for this meeting. So thank you so much for hosting. And also would like to welcome the new student trustee, Yuda Goldblum, to my left. So thank you for joining us today. Glad to have you with us. We're going to begin with remarks on behalf of Finance Administrative Services from CFO Rodriguez.
Thank you, Vice Chair Swanson. Good afternoon, trustees, chancellor, and officers of the district. Welcome to the May 4th, 2023 Finance and Administrative Services Committee. Welcome to our new student trustee, Yuda Goldblum of White College. We're happy to have you aboard. We are approaching the end of the spring semester, and I know many of us are looking forward to celebrating with the associate degree graduates this Saturday at commencement at the Wintrust Arena. Congratulations to our graduates and the faculty and staff that have helped them reach their goals. And best wishes to all of our students during finals. In today's meetings, we will hear a report from our Director of Internal Audit, Gina Gentile. Director Gentile will provide an update of the FY23 internal audits that have been completed and a preview of the FY24 audit plan.
CFO Rodriguez, if I just interrupt. Yeah, it's something funny. It's like a little echo to us. It's hard to understand everything you're saying.
Let's see.
I couldn't hear myself speaking. Should I start over? I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, let's try again. Thank you, Vice Chair Swanson.
Much better. Great. Thank you.
Good afternoon, trustees, chancellor, and officers of the district. Welcome to the May 4th Finance and Administrative Services Committee. Welcome to our new student trustee, Yuda Goldblum from White College. We are happy to have you on board. We are approaching the end of the spring semester, and I know many of us are looking forward to celebrating with the associate degree graduates this Saturday at commencement at the Wintrust Arena. Congratulations to our graduates and the faculty and staff that have helped them reach their goals, and best wishes to all of our students on finals. In today's meeting, we will hear a report from our Director of Internal Audit, Gina Gentile. Director Gentile will provide an update on the FY23 internal audits that have been completed and a preview of the FY24 audit plan. Many thanks to Director Gentile and her team for their hard work during this year. With that, I'll turn it back to Vice Chair Swanson. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will have a presentation by Internal Auditor Gina Gentile. Welcome. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay. Good afternoon, Chair Massey, members of the board, and Chancellor Salgado. Today I will provide you with an overview of the Internal Audit Department, internal audit ratings, and we'll go over the satisfactory, needs improvement, and unsatisfactory audits. The Internal Audit Department assesses and measures organizational risk through periodic enterprise risk assessments with the goal of defining a risk-based internal audit plan. We evaluate the effectiveness of internal controls, and we assess compliance with local, state, and federal laws, in addition to City College's internal policies and procedures. Our work is performed in accordance with the IIA standards. Our team consists of myself, Christine, our internal audit supervisor, and a senior auditor. Once our audits are completed, internal audit will determine the rating of the audit. It'll either be satisfactory, needs improvement, or unsatisfactory. A satisfactory audit indicates that the control environment is considered appropriate. Here, there is little to no management action required. A needs improvement rating indicates that risks are within acceptable parameters. However, corrective action and oversight by management is required. An unsatisfactory rating indicates that risks are not within our parameters, and there was more than one high finding documented, and senior management attention is required. We completed 6 audits this year, with 3 audits with satisfactory ratings. One of the audits that were satisfactory was the Harold Washington Campus Review. We tested multiple processes and multiple attributes within the processes. For example, tested at the business office, we tested many processes like daily cash receipts, bank reconciliations, third-party billing. And within that process, we tested multiple attributes like management review, supporting documentation, and whether or not all internal policies and procedures were abided. We found moderate findings within the Harold Washington Campus Review. There was 1 out of 3 facility rentals that were not paid in full prior to the event or thereafter, and this was due to a check that was bounced prior to the rental, but we did not notice until after the rental was completed. We also had findings within the transfer evaluation process, and here this has been an ongoing finding within city colleges across campuses. However, it is getting better. We have district offices' attention, and we are working to improve this process at all campuses. Bi-weekly routine payroll was also a satisfactory audit. We tested multiple processes within CCC Works, certificates of attendance, substitute pay, vacation payout, employee changes. We only found findings within the substitute teacher process, and this is more of a manual process within the payroll process. And here, the COAs did not reconcile to the substitute pay forms. So we saw a couple discrepancies within hours paid versus absent hours documented on the COA. We also audited the TRIO Student Support Service at Harold Washington, Malcolm X, and Truman, and this was a very good audit. We tested participant eligibility, services rendered, and expenditures, and the audit was very clean. We only had 1 finding within the application process, and either the student or the TRIO reviewer did not sign off, and this again was due to moving the applications electronic. There was 1 needs improvement audit, and this was payroll, and this is non-routine biweekly payments. So these are special projects, hours that are worked in addition to the regular workday. And here we found that the COAs they were either not submitted or they did not reconcile to the biweekly payment. So the request for payment and special assignment process, the hours and the pay rate is all approved by management and the employee prior to coming to payroll. And once payroll receives it, they enter an automatic entry into the payroll system. So the system pays them on a biweekly basis until the end date. And on a biweekly basis, the employee should be documenting their hours so it reconciles with the payment. However, the COAs that were entered into the system did not have special assignment hours documented. We had 2 unsatisfactory audits. One was the Wilbur Campus Review, and here we had 3 high findings. The first one was within the bank reconciliation process, There were approximately $41,000 in receipts and fees that were unreconciled. District Office Accounting is working with Wilbur Wright, and they have been working with Wilbur Wright on this process for probably the past year. We have talked with Wilbur Wright, and they do plan on having all unreconciled items cleared by June of 2023. We also had fixed assets as a high finding, and during our audit, we noted assets that were purchased by district office but shipped to Wilbur Wright, and the assets did not have asset tags, nor were they on the Wilbur Wright fixed asset register. So they have to create a transfer form and add those to their asset or to their fixed asset register. We also noted assets that had asset tags that did not reconcile to the Wilbur Wright fixed asset register, so there was incorrect tags on the assets that were on the floor. There was one other high finding within the Wilbur Wright campus review, and that was within procurement. And here we noted that requisitions that were created did not link the correct commodity code to the purchase order. And the commodity code, there's a workflow that's attached to the commodity code for approvals and whether or not the asset or the item should be documented, flagged as an asset. So if the wrong commodity code is entered, the workflow will go to the incorrect, it'll direct itself to the incorrect approvals, and it may or may not flag the item to be tagged when it arrives from the vendor. We also noted that there were purchase orders in which the item was lump summed. So there were 3 items within one item number, and so when the assets were receipted, they were receipted with 1 asset tag versus 3 asset tags, 3 different numbers identified on the fixed asset register. We also noted that purchase orders for services did not have supporting documents attached, which would be an executed contract. There was one more unsatisfactory audit, which was the TRIO Equal Opportunity Center, and here we noted that services were not rendered. There should be 2 services rendered throughout the fiscal year 2022 grant year. For the majority of the students reviewed, there was only 1 service rendered. Supporting documentation for the services rendered were not maintained, so we did not have support for services that were rendered. Follow-up procedures were not performed, and monthly reporting activities were also not performed. I just wanted to clarify that the monthly reporting activities that were not performed were internal policies and procedures by city colleges, not Department of Ed requirements. Audit follow-up, we have 7 open findings from fiscal year 2022. Internal audit is continuously working with the process owners, and for the majority of these findings, some are in the process of being cleared, and others will most likely be cleared by the end of summer. So we will continue to work with the process owners and ensure that these findings are mitigated and we can remove them from our open finding list. Our internal audit plan for fiscal year 2024, we will review 3 campuses, Truman, Malcolm X, and Daly. We will perform a contract compliance expenditure audit. We will review the SAP approval process and R2T4. We will assist the external auditors on the HERF review, and we will conduct an audit for NEBE-WEBE compliance. Any questions?
Hello. Can you describe, my apologies for being tardy, and I apologize if you've already answered this question, but can you describe the engagement with Wilbur Wright in terms of process, the internal audit process, the level of cooperation, the level of engagement, and their own response to your findings?
Sure. Wilbur Wright was fully cooperative. When we performed the audit, we informed the executive director of the findings. They were aware of the bank reconciliation finding. They've had quite a bit of turnover at their campus, which has created some of these findings. They are hiring some of new employees. They have also worked, since the audit, they have worked to clean some of these findings as well. We've been in continuous communication with them as well. They have also reached out to district office for training in the procurement process. And for both the reconciliation and the fixed asset, they have hired 2 new employees in those departments. So we hope to have this cleaned up by before the new fiscal year.
Okay, thank you.
Now, remind us of how you work with the external auditors.
Yes, so we provide the external auditors with our audits, so they will rely on our work, especially the campus audits. They will not audit the same campuses that we audit, and then our financial audits, they will select smaller samples. We also assist them on the HERF testing. In the past, we've also assisted them on the grant testing, but right now, because of HERF being such a pretty big review, we take that, we review the whole HERF dollars and make sure that we're in compliance with those dollars, the spend, and that our processes have appropriate controls.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Oh,
I just want to give you thanks because the department does very high quality work. The team that you're working with and the quality of the audits that we are and consistency, right? The idea now that we will be regularly going out to campuses, on a cycle. So what we'll see as a result of that is just continuous improvement as a whole, right? Which I think has brought, just greater discipline for all of us in our day-to-day work. So thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. It is now time to review the board reports to be considered during the May regular board meeting, which will take place later this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Will the chief advisor please proceed with the review of board reports?
Thank you, Vice Chair Swanson. Presenters, after presenting your report, please briefly pause to give the trustees an opportunity to ask any questions they may have about the items being presented. We will begin with resolutions. ADC Anthony will review resolutions 1.00 and 1.01. President Webb Walker will review 1.03. Provost Potter will review 1.03. I will review 1.04. Bonnie Phillips. President Sanders will review 1.05. And ADC Haynes will review 1.06.
Resolution 1.00 requests the board's authority to execute an undertaking request with the Public Building Commission of Chicago for construction and renovations at the Westside Learning Center. Through this undertaking request, the PBC will manage the construction of a community center addition at the Westside Learning Center, as well as targeted renovations of the existing structure that have been determined as necessary and more efficient to execute at the same time as the community center addition. The district shall pay the PBC in an amount not to exceed $9,500,000 for this work. Any additional funding or scope for further renovations to the existing structure will be presented to the board for approval in a later phase. The undertaking request also extends the term of CCC's master intergovernmental agreement with the PBC to the later of June 30, 2028, or the completion and final acceptance of this project and any other projects subject to the IGA. This resolution also appoints me, David Anthony, as the Vice Chancellor of Administrative Services as the authorized board representative with the duties and responsibilities outlined in the IGA. These responsibilities include representing CCC and being the primary liaison to the PBC in the review and oversight of the project, defining the nature and scope of the work, inspection and acceptance of work products, and review and approval of cash flow and invoices for payment to the PBC.
I
President-
just want to, thank President Sanders for his efforts. This has been a priority for him, for the West Side community, something we completely support as an institution. But I want to be clear, President Sanders has gone out, worked with this state representative, worked with the state senator area, and has secured $9 million that will go towards, this entire, effort. This will be the first of these reports, because we want to do the whole project. The whole project will be more than the 9.5 million, but this is critical starting point, of which, because of President Sanders' efforts, we now have $9 million to get this project started. So thank you.
Resolution 1.01 requests the board's authority to enter an intergovernmental agreement with the Chicago Department of Transportation to utilize their Green Corps program to provide landscape maintenance services and promote sustainable practices for campus grounds district-wide. The IGA will be for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2026, at a total cost not to exceed $900,000. The agreement shall also include one option to renew for an additional 2-year period.
Resolution 1.02 seeks the board's authorization to enter into an intergovernmental agreement between Dawson Technical Institute of Kennedy King College and the Illinois Department of Transportation's Highway Construction Careers Training Program. This award, in an amount up to $382,420, will allow Dawson Technical Institute to recruit, counsel, and train up to 30 participants to become highway construction workers, with a special focus on increasing opportunities for women and members of underrepresented groups. This agreement is for the period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024, and is a continuation of a program that's been in place since 2009.
Resolution 1.03 rescinds Board Report number 34565, approved at the August 2022 regular board meeting, which had authorized an agreement with LifeWorks to provide extended wellness service hours to City College's students. LifeWorks has been unable to satisfy City College's vendor requirements, and there is an alternate vendor that has been identified for these services.
That would help, sorry. Resolution 1.04 approves the election of Yuda Goldblum as the next student body, the next new student trustee from the student body of Wilbur Wright.
Resolution 1.05 is a request for the board to approve a study abroad program to Ghana for Malcolm X College. In partnership with Oakton Community College, Malcolm X College faculty, staff, and students desire to participate in a study abroad program that will provide contextualized cultural and social emotional learning for all participants. Students will have the chance to engage in the classroom at the University of Ghana, as well as experience the rich history, heritage, and culture of Ghana. Faculty and staff will jointly serve as chaperones, as well as participate in the exchange of academic and experiential learning with the faculty of the University of Ghana, as well as the civic, governmental, and local leaders of Ghana. This resolution will also authorize the purchase of airfare to Ghana for all approved participants. Since airfare exceeding $1,000, it is expected or estimated the airfare cost will be around $2,500 per person, requires board approval. In addition, this trip will also serve as a prelude to our African American Male Mentoring Program, which will contain an international trip component to orient African American male students to the roots of their rich culture, heritage, and identity. I want to thank Chancellor Salgado, General Counsel Carla Goen, CFO Maribel Rodriguez, and Vice Chancellor Angela Arrington Reeves for their diligent and effective work to make it possible to bring this program to the board for approval.
I have a question. Sounds fantastic. First of all, if you're going to orient African American men to a history and culture, just send them to Morehouse.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the first thing.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, this do we have other study abroad programs, and are we thinking about doing such more broadly nationwide?
Yes, sir. So I'll let the chancellor answer more broadly, but really this was born out of our African American mentoring program. We had a very successful integration with them, not with an international group, but bringing individuals who looked like them and who were successful. And from the group, they indicated that it would be wonderful for them to have the opportunity to trace their heritage and go back. So a part of the program is you go through 23andMe so that you can look at your DNA, and then you're able to go back to the areas of the country where you were born, well, your ancestral roots. And all of the students are fascinated about it. I know the chancellor has done some other programs, so I'll leave the rest to him.
In my time period, we've also had the trip to France, organized out of here at Washington College as well. And so these do come from our colleges. They come from our faculty. They come from, as President Sanders pointed out, the African American Male Mentoring Initiative. And I will say we have an openness to them. Now, one of the challenges that this is always confronted by is you have to raise the resources to do it, right? We don't have the budgetary flexibility to be able to support this with our operating budgets. And so with our faculty and our presidents that have taken leadership roles, and certainly that has occurred in both of those instances, and gone out and raised the resources to be able to do this. And of course, there's always the complexity. The France trip, which I think was done twice, was interrupted by the pandemic and has not come back online. So we're very pleased that this is going to be occurring, and thank you, President Sanders.
Thank you.
Resolution 1.06 is requesting the board's authority to amend an agreement with Hope Chicago to extend their program and supports to parents of Hope Scholars at City Colleges of Chicago. Hope Chicago is a Chicago-based not-for-profit organization founded in 2021 to ensure CPS graduates and their parents have the financial and wraparound supports necessary to be successful in attaining a post-secondary credential or degree debt-free. In August 2022, the board approved City College's partnership with Hope via Board Report 34547 to support CPS graduates and to ensure more CPS graduates enroll in, persist, and complete a degree or credential. We are thrilled that Hope Chicago will now also support the parents of Hope Scholars with last dollar scholarships, book supplies, and laptops. This amendment will allow us to invoice Hope Chicago for tuition, books, supplies, laptops, and non-enrollment fees for up to 100 Hope parents for the semesters relevant to this agreement, and allow us to share select information, data, and consents for all Hope Chicago parent students planning to enroll at City Colleges, adhering to FERPA and the agreed upon data sharing agreement. This resolution authorizes the Chancellor to execute an agreement to the amendment to the agreement with Hope Chicago, Board Report 34547, to include the parents of Hope Scholars as described, effective through August 31st, 2023.
Thank you, everyone. CTO Dunning, please review Personnel Report 2.00.
Board Item 2.0 is a request to approve the May 2023 Personnel Report. There are 61 actions on this month's report. They include 19 new and rehires, 22 promotions, title, and salary changes, and 20 separations and retirement. This concludes May's report.
Thank you. ABC Hayes, please review item 3.00, the Resource Development Report.
The May Development Report includes 3 grants funded and awarded totaling $285,000 and 7 grant applications submitted totaling $2,251,000. For this report, I'd like to call your attention to Section 4 of the report, which is a new section. As you may recall, in January, the board approved a resolution allowing the district to provide the board with written notice and details of intergovernmental agreements between the district and the ICCB, in which case the ICCB provides funding to the district in lieu of seeking board review and approval to enable the district to provide services and assistance to students and to assist with college operations. Section 4 provides written notice and details of 5 ICCB IGA amendments that granted us extensions on existing WEI awards. This concludes the May Resource Development Report.
Thank you. We will now review the proposed agreements. ABC Anthony, please review Agreement 4.00 and 4.01. CFO Rodriguez, please review 4.02. ABC Hayes, please review 4.03, and CTO Dunning, please review 4.04. Provost Potter, please review 4.05, 4.06, and 4.07. Agreement 4.08 is being rescinded and will be brought before the board in the June, at the June board meeting for consideration. And President Sanders, please review Agreement 4.09.
Agreement 4.00 requests the board's authority to exercise the option to renew agreements with Delta Heating and Air Conditioning and Core Mechanical for HVAC, mechanical and piping, maintenance and repair services for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2024 for a total cost not to exceed $1,250,000. There is also one remaining option to renew for an additional 1-year period. Agreement 4.01 requests the board's authority to exercise the option to renew an agreement with Midwest Moving and Storage to provide moving and relocation services district-wide for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2025 at a total cost not to exceed $200,000. There is also one remaining option to renew for an additional 2-year period.
Agreement 4.02, this is a request to enter into an agreement for consulting services with Aretha Tharbs for the period of May 5, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 at a total cost not to exceed $40,000. The consultant will provide unique services and training to the Office of Student Finance based on her significant experience with CCC's business processes and systems. Thank you.
Agreement 4.03 requests board authority to execute an agreement with Achieving the Dream for 5 colleges to participate in the Accelerating Equitable Outcomes cohort starting no sooner than June 12th, 2023 through June 30th, 2026 at a total cost not to exceed $600,000. Achieving the Dream is a non-for-profit that supports community colleges through a network of learning and builds capacity to improve institutional and equitable student outcomes with the goal of leveraging resources and building sustainability within the colleges. Achieving the Dreams Network consists of more than 300 community colleges across the country and has nearly 2 decades of experience in developing a unique set of proven resources and tools. Earlier this year, 5 of our colleges were invited to apply based on specific cohort criteria to become part of the inaugural Accelerating Equitable Outcomes cohort. All 5 colleges were selected. The 5 colleges include Kennedy King, Olive Harvey, Harold Washington, Wright, and Malcolm X College. Over the course of 3 years, our 5 colleges will join 5 other colleges from around the country to take part in collective learning, coaching, capacity building in 7 core areas needed for holistic change, pathways redesign, and fostering a student-focused culture. This work will strengthen our capacity to improve institutional and equitable student outcomes and make progress towards our closing equity gaps. In addition, with sole source policy procedures, this service is exempt from the district's competitive bidding process. Procurement Services has reviewed the proposed agreement and has determined that the vendor has complied with the board-approved MBEE WBE contract participation plan with a recommended 8% waiver of the MBE goal. Thank you.
Agreement 4.04 requests the board's approval to execute a renewal agreement with Workforce Software, Inc. to maintain services and hardware for district-wide electronic time and labor management system solution for the period from July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 at a total cost not to exceed $435,000.
Agreement 4.05 seeks board authorization to enter into agreement with Simplicity Corporation for accommodations management software. This software tool will allow the access centers at each of our colleges to improve management of accommodations for students with disabilities. Specifically, the solution will be used to facilitate the intake process, manage communications and faculty outreach around approved accommodations, manage text conversion into accessible formats, schedule meetings related to providing accommodations, and provide general case management. The agreement begins June 1st, 2023, and runs through May 31st, 2026, for a total cost not to exceed $184,221. Agreement 4.06 seeks board authorization for a 3-year agreement with the Chicago Cook County Workforce Partnership beginning on July 1st, 2023 and ending on June 30th, 2026 at a total cost not to exceed $100,000. City Colleges is a mandated partner under WIOA, the federal workforce legislation, required to provide services in collaboration with and financial infrastructure support for local comprehensive one-stop workforce centers. The one-stop centers, in turn, are a source of recruitment and referral to City College's adult education and workforce programs. The MOU is approved on 3-year cycles and cost sharing negotiated annually by all parties. Agreement 4.07 seeks board authorization to enter into an agreement with My Own Doctor to provide after-hours and weekend mental health services via telehealth to City Colleges students. By engaging with My Own Doctor, City Colleges is investing in a significant expansion of mental health and wellness supports to students, expanding the hours of availability, providing psychiatry care for students, and providing additional channels for students to engage with mental health supports while increasing the clinician to student ratio. Authority is requested beginning June 1st, 2023 through July 1st, 2024 at a total cost not to exceed $250,000.
President Sanders?
Sorry about that. Board Report number 4.09 is a request for the board to approve the execution of an agreement with CRMRIG Company doing business as Academic Impressions to provide professional development services from May 4th, 2023 through June 30th, 2024 at a cost not to exceed $41,000. Academic Impressions provides higher education specific training, resources, and professional development for faculty and administrative staff relative to 9 areas of interest. In addition, Academic Impressions employs a team of dedicated research analysts examining trends in higher education. This ensures that the training is research-based, higher education-specific case studies, examples, and best practices. AI also provides a host of other services inclusive of customized learning to meet the needs of Malcolm X College employees. We believe that providing professional development to our employees is essential in driving learning outcomes and student success. Academic Impressions is a 100% MBE firm, and if approved, this program will be paid via the PATH grant.
Thank you all. For purchase reports, ABC Anthony, please review 5.00, and President Hollingsworth, please review 5.01.
Purchase 5.00, request the board's authority for the issuance of purchase orders to Silkscreen Express to provide uniforms for the Office of Safety and Security on an as-needed basis for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30, 2026, at a total cost not to exceed $275,000. There will also be one option to renew for an additional 2-year period.
Purchase 5.01 seeks the board's authority to purchase 2 forklifts from United Rentals for the Olive Harvey College forklift training program. The total is not to exceed $70,000, and delivery period is from May 4th, 2023 through July 1st, 2024. Acquisition of the forklifts will enhance the student practice and training experience with industry standard vehicles. Olive Harvey College has not purchased a forklift in over 5 years. Forklift certification courses have grown from one section each week to now a section offered every day of the week, including the weekend.
Thank you. General Counsel Goin. Thank you. General Counsel Goin, please review item 6.00, the payment of legal invoices.
Item 6.00 requests approval of legal fees totaling $423,348.65. Such fees cover litigation, employment, labor, corporate, and higher education matters.
Thank you. Vice Chair Swanson, pending no further questions, that concludes the review of board reports.
I have a question. The workforce centers, I've never heard of this. Could you say a little more about this?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite.
Workforce centers.
Workforce centers, yeah.
Never heard of those.
Workforce centers are under the umbrella of the Chicago-Cook County Workforce Partnership. They're the workforce, the federally funded workforce operation in the region. And at the workforce centers, also known as one-stop centers, individuals can walk in and get support in finding training, education, and support in finding work. Oftentimes using federal dollars in order to help pay for tuition or to cover tuition costs. And so plenty of individuals come to these one-stop centers and are referred to our adult education or credit programs that qualify for the supports. We do have, actually in partnership with Cook County Workforce, Chicago Cook County Workforce Partnership, we have a one-stop center within Truman College in a space sharing agreement.
We also, Daly College.
At Daly College as well.
They're both colleges. Chairman, I see these are funded by the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And that primarily goes through the Department of Labor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Again, I wanted to note that it was 4.08 that was presented, correct, and will be considered in June. But given that, may I please have a motion to discharge the May 4th personnel report, resource development report, resolutions, agreements, purchases, and legal invoices included on today's committee agenda as part of the consent agenda to the May 4th, 2023 regular board meeting. All in favor? All right, motion carried. Thank you, and since there's no further business to come before this committee today, may I please have a motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carried. We are adjourned till 2. Thanks.